What is up, everybody? It is Nick Legends. Today, we're going to be talking about why gaming is ruining your life. Now, keep in mind, right now, I am trying to direct this message to people where they have a bad gaming addiction, like myself back in the day. This isn't intended for people that only play a couple hours of games a week, or maybe even something more than that. This is a message for all of y'all out there that are letting gaming dictate your life. You're spending an excess amount of time in it, and you're ultimately holding yourself back in life. And you may have already had that thought, like you want to. There's something more, and you're stuck in a loop, right? So, allow me to be your guiding uncle. I'm gonna get you out of this. Um, you know, Part of it is it's a comfort zone thing, right? You're comfortable playing games, and that's fine. That's fine for a certain amount of years. When you're younger, you're in your teens. You're figuring life out. You're in your parents' house. But as you get older, you can kind of lean into that comfort, and you know, it can be a very negative thing. And I'm speaking from experience. Like I got caught in the loop for years, man. It took me a long time to get out. So pretty much my origin story with gaming is I was completely addicted to World of Warcraft. I was playing that freaking game. I don't know, 12 hours a day. I would stay up all night. I'd sleep for like 4 hours. I'd get back on the grind. This is like early WoW, by the way. This is like vanilla. PvP first came out. I was playing with all my friends. It was sick. It actually, and I don't regret some of it, because it was a really cool experience, and I have like really good nostalgic feelings about it, and it was just straight fun, right? But there's a tipping point where it goes from being fun to it kind of ruining your life, if not ruining, severely delaying your life, right? And the problem with that is I kept pushing that delay button. I tell myself, oh, I'll get my shit together. I'll go to college. After I get whatever goal I had in mind in WoW at the time. After I get my full set of Netherwind or something like that. After we clear Molten Core, all that stuff. Like there were all benchmarks, like mental benchmarks of like, or mental goalposts rather, of like when I was gonna quit, and I just kept pushing them back, right? So, all that's to say is, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are doing the same thing, right? You just keep pushing the goalpost because, you don't want to get on it now. You like, and you're having fun with your boys or girls. You're gaming. Life is good. Um, but yeah, like I said, it gets to the point where it is not good anymore, and things need to change. So, if you want to hear about how I got out, it was a long road. It was a lot of like dipping my toes into various things, and I would always get drawn back in. There would always be a new freaking expansion or some game, my new game my friends would get me back into, right? So it wasn't just like a switch that was flipped, right? And all of a sudden, like, I'm no longer completely addicted to games. Anyways, how did I get out? It pretty much started with just getting out and doing things. And for starters, this isn't the most healthy habit, but I'd go out to bars with friends. Like, we'd go out, we'd have a good time. I'm not saying that's the healthiest thing either, but sometimes you need something, you need to draw from something else, right? So that's one element, right? Also, I started going to the gym. That was super healthy. I started getting into shape. More physical activity, less in my thoughts all the time about life, being depressed, being shut in my room, all that stuff, right? So that's a super positive one. Another one that really helped me was just listening to like smart people, right? I'd listen to like Tim Ferriss and Tim Robbins, or Tim Robbins. Uh, Back in the day, Joe Rogan, when he was still pretty cool, listen to him. And you pick these like these people, you get a sense of like, similar vibes and values, and maybe they're just doing stuff at a way higher level than you, right? Or just just interesting, motivating people in general. Those are the type of people you want to like kind of make sense of how they're living their lives, right? Because if somebody else is crushing it, they're making a shit ton of money, they've got a lot of shit going on, they're obviously doing things, right? That you want to try to mimic. So that's a good way to familiarize yourself with those type of people. Um, Another thing that helped is once I was able to break the excessive gaming habit, what I started to do is kind of getting back into it, but just playing single player games, right? Because I mean, I still feel like the love for video gaming will always be there, right? Um, and it's not necessarily gaming that's the true problem. It's the excessive playing and the addiction and modern MMOs and how they tap into the addictive parts of your brain, right? And that's the issue, right? So, anyways, that's to say single player games, right? Just playing good old friggin' Zelda or something, or like a Final Fantasy, something that wasn't gonna completely suck me back in, right? So that helped me out. Okay, so that was my story. Now I'm gonna help you all out. I've got a little document here. I'm gonna swap screens real quick, show you all what's up. All right, so first up we have get out of your comfort zone, right? This is crucial. Like, you have to be able to train your brain to get out of your current comfort zone. It's the only way you're going to level up in life, and you're going to repeatedly be in new cycles of comfort zones. You'll get to the next level, and you'll be in a comfort zone in that where something else seems scary. But ultimately, you've got to realize that it's going to be fine. You just need to move on from this addictive cycle. You need to find better things to do with your time. 100%, right? Okay, next up we have reframe your brain that you can be something better. And what do I mean by that? I just mean that you need to believe that you can do something better in your life, that there is something more and you're capable of that, right? That's a big one. Like, a lot of people just walk around thinking like, well, I can't do this. I can't get that job. I can't meet those type of friends or connections. And so much of it is bullshit. There are going to be limitations for certain things, and what's the classic example people use, right? Like, if you're not super tall, you can't be a professional basketball player. That's not what we're talking about here. What we were talking about is limiting beliefs on stuff that is totally fucking possible, right? Like, you could go fucking start a business. You could start your YouTube career. You can get a fucking awesome job, right? You can move out of your parents' house. You can do that, right? And the longer you stay in this limiting belief of, I can't do that, like, it's just going to be worse. You need to retrain your brain to not believe bullshit, right? Okay, so next up, we have get out of your head by physical exercise of some kind. Um, this is a huge one because I feel like just so many people nowadays are stuck in their heads, right? You're either like doom scrolling, you're stuck in your head, you're thinking negative thought loops, and a lot of people, when they're trying to get out of that, they're almost digging themselves a deeper hole. And by that I mean they're looking for answers to solve their intellectual problems by looking at more intellectual stuff. And that can be a problem solver, right? But what often ends up happening is you just internalize all of the negative things you're already thinking about. How do I fix this? How do I fix that? How do I? And I think what helps break this mold and get you out of these negative thought loops is physical. It doesn't have to be exercise, but doing something physical. And it doesn't have to be intense. It could just be like, if you don't ever even go out for a walk. Like, go out for a walk, and sometimes just don't listen to like podcasts or anything. Like, just let your own, like, be in your own body, or listen to music or something like that. Um, but anyways, what worked really good for me was training combat sports because it has kind of the dual side of it where, really good, intense exercising, and then you get to learn, right? You're learning something new every day. You're learning how to like perfect a jab or things of that nature. And actually, there's a community in there, and you make a lot of really good friends. So that would be one that I would highly recommend. But that's just my personal opinion. Find whatever works for you. That's the important part. Whatever sounds cool or fun to you. Next up, we have find a cool community, develop high quality friends that care about you. This is crucial. You want to be able to find cool people to hang out with, preferably with similar interests. You want somebody that has your back. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, right? You need some people that are gonna have your back and that you can reach out to. And it may take some time to find these type of people, right? But it's something you want to be striving for, in the back of your mind, and um, yeah, just really really crucial there. Okay, on the inverse of that, we want to remove people from your life that are toxic. If you feel like your friends are dissing you for trying to be better, crabs in a bucket. Like, you want to remove yourself from that situation, and it may be a difficult decision, and it doesn't have to be a complete removal, but you want to make sure that they're not going to drag you down. Like, or maybe what it could be is you still have them as friends, but you don't necessarily take them as serious as anymore. They might be trying to use tactics to pull you down, but you're like, oh, whatever. That's my gaming buddy. I just play games with him. He doesn't want to do anything else. You can still keep these people in your life, but not let them dictate your own well-being. But sometimes if people are toxic enough, you might just have to cut ties, even if it's for a couple of years while you get your shit together. It's better than being dragged down to their level. And you don't, like, if you're already struggling with confidence, the last thing you need is like a group of friends like shitting on you as well. You're like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I already feel weird about A, B, and C that I'm trying out. It's a new thing. And then on top of that, they're saying, like, yeah, this guy, he's trying this. He looks like an idiot. You don't want to deal with those people in this new paradigm, right? You want to try to get to the next level and not have anybody shake your psychology back out into what you already were, right? Yeah, it can be a tough one, and I will say also, you don't also want to assume that everybody in your life is toxic because they're critical, right? Some people just say stuff, they don't really mean much by it. You don't want to interpret everything as negative, right? But if there's somebody that's clearly toxic, or a group of people that are clearly toxic, and they're trying to put you down, just fucking just don't deal with them. It's simple as that. Okay, and with that, you can create your own circle of influence. You know, it doesn't have the people in your life, the 10 people you spend the most time with, they don't have to be people you actually know. You definitely want some people um, for social purposes, but your circle of influence can be people online. I have some recommendations here for just really freaking awesome intellectuals, motivational people, people with awesome podcasts, and these can kind of, like, hearing people like these talk all the time is infectious, and they have a lot of really good input to say about a lot of different things when it comes to business, your well-being, motivational shit. It's all kind of like, it's all encompassing, right? So for this list, I have written down here Chris Williamson. He does the Modern Wisdom podcast. You guys should check it out. Another one, classic OG, that is Tony Robbins. One of my personal favorites, just has a lot of really high level thoughts, and cool, like, It's like cool, almost like modern day spirituality, but not anything like overly woo woo. That's Naval Ravikant. That guy is freaking awesome. A new one I've been getting into is this guy Stephen Bartlett, and his podcast is Diary of a CEO. He pretty much interviews like CEOs, like high level podcasters, high level YouTube people, and he'll like have them break down their how they went about building their businesses, or he'll just break down whatever they're into in general, like maybe they wrote a book on something crazy, and he'll just kind of like dissect that. He's just got a really cool like unbiased approach um, to his podcast. It's great. So yeah, shoot, you know I think that about covers a lot of what I was trying to get out. And I'm sure I'm going to edit some of this down because I had some little blips, but I wanted it to be more or less like authentic and kind of coming across from the heart, right? Um, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Definitely drop a comment if any of this resonates with you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them. I'll try my best to get back to you. Um, and yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Thank you.